Hey guys, it's raining and it's so nice because my uncle called and he says, well, has it rained yet so that you can see if they did a good job so you can see if the roof leaks? I says, no, not yet. And he says, well, when it rains, go out, make sure your roof's not leaking. If it is, call them back and make sure they fix it. And so it's raining and I went out and it's so nice. You can't actually hear it raining. I mean, before it was hitting like rotted wood and shingles, and it would sound like machine guns hitting my roof. Now it sounds like nothing. It's so nice. And there isn't cascading waterfalls of water everywhere. It's so nice. And that brings me to something that, as I was doing the renovation, it's not like anything that I did, like all the gold paint, that wasn't something that Loki enjoys. He does enjoy stuff like that. And let me normalize the light on the video again. This should work. Yep. Ta-da. It's a camera trick. If it sees actual yellow, it realizes there's not that much yellow in the lighting. But as I was doing all this stuff, it was occurring to me that it felt like I was preparing to welcome someone in. I'm like, that's strange. And I've been having very weird dreams the last couple of nights where it's almost like they're torrent downloads, like there's huge amount of information coming down. And I was like, well, why is this happening? And I had started to work with a god, and I was like, and Loki's like, no, you've worked with him before, and you've done this thing of not working with him. And finally the god said, well, today I said, either you're working with me or you're not. I want an answer and I want it now. And it wasn't like he was going to rescind any of the gifts, like me getting the gift of money for the roof, and my uncle was excited, and he's like, are you going to get the computer in that? And we can discuss free will and everything at a later point, but kind of paved the way for these things to happen, if you will. And it wasn't like I wanted to keep the god around to be the magical god of ATM-ness, and I did not want to keep the god around for other attributes that the god was known for, and I'm not talking about Freyr here either. But I thought of it, and we have worked together before, and we had the same problem I would have with Loki. Like, sometimes I have gods that I get to a certain point with them, and then there's like this log jam of emotion or something, and it's like I can't go any further. And today he was like, you're either working with me or not, but you give me an answer now, and telling me, I'm giving you these dreams to show you if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to lift you up and help you. I'm not who you think I am. And which was good, because I had made a video earlier about not understanding the dreams, and you never saw it, by the way. You never saw it because I didn't like how it came out. And I had to make the decision. I had to make it now. And I'm asking the other gods. The other gods are like, this is your call. And Mercury had been like, this is totally your call, but you either are going to work with him and you're going to keep working with him, or he's going to go and you're not going to see him again. It's not going to matter how nice you are. You know how he is. So I'm looking at Loki and I'm like, Loki, are you totally sure about this? Because said god can be very forceful and said, if I'm staying, I'm same status as Loki. In fact, everything, I claim equal ownership over everything. And I'm like, well, we finally got the guy that wants to be the family leader, for one thing. Because, like, Love Regina is the undisputed queen around here. We've never had, like, a king kind of forceful male that wanted to kind of be, like, leader around here. In fact, all of them, they've been like, nope, don't want leadership role. And I think he has naturally assumed the leadership role because all the other underworld gods are just backing up, being like, we good, we good. They're not afraid of him, but they're not going to um start a fight where there is no cause to start a fight. And as Loki said, do you think for one instant, no matter what god or goddess or whoever it was, if I thought you'd be in harm's way, I'd let them come anywhere near you? I'm like, did somebody hurt my precious baby? It's like, nobody hurt your precious baby. Ah. so nothing happened bad between them. It's not like he was forced into this or not, but Loki is very big on family, and Loki is very big on honoring your past commitments and honoring past relationships. And, you know, if you formed a relationship with a god in the past, but you've let it lapse, he will sometimes be like, hey, you have to renew this relationship because this god is interested in renewing the relationship, and you don't got anywhere to run now. Loki will sometimes be the god to, like, back you up to the very edge of the cliff and go ahead, back up some more, let's see what happens. And I was surprised he did that, because he was doing it in a good way. He brought this god in for a good reason. And he did not bring this god in to be magical ATM or anything else like that. Like, he didn't bring Freyr in for anything like that. But these are the gods. He's getting them all in place now that he feels and that they feel are the absolute best for me. So I'm like thinking about this decision. And finally, I'm like, okay. So I made a meal today, and of course the first meal I made him, I messed it up. I mean, technically I had made like some food before, but he was like, after he made the ultimatum, I'm like, here. And of course the first thing I make him, instead of making the spicy chicken soup that I make that we love so well, I'm just so dead tired on my feet, I made it with ham instead. Which amused him to no end. He wasn't offended. We're just going to pretend that maybe Piggy was black, even though pigs were a traditional offering. But yeah, now I have Hades installed, and now Hades can perhaps not give me torrent download dreams. I said, I love you, and I understand the dreams are just this vast wealth of now I'm smelling perfume. A cologne. I swear to the gods, it's not the Scentsy bars. I can tell the difference. Okay. Okay. It's gonna be one of those things. But yeah, I have Hades here, and I am well aware that in the old days people were supposedly terrified of him, but I'm not terrified of him, and he's not this dark, brooding, emo god, and he's not savage or terrible or anything else. He's actually... He can be impatient. He can be, I want your answer, and I want it now. And I don't do good with that. My brain just goes, dit, and I freeze, and then my brain starts spinning in place, and I have absolutely no idea what to say. But he can usually be fairly patient as long as he knows you're trying. He gets impatient when he sees you could do better. And he knows you can do better, and he knows you know the right answer. That's when he starts to lose his patience. But he's good to work with, because he's already correcting my tendency to be way too nice to people. I mean, you guys have seen it. I'm like way, way, way too nice to people that don't deserve it. Because it's part of being introverted. I'll like almost let people walk all over me, be nice, and be like, oh, I can't get angry. And Hades like, you're gonna get angry. You're gonna get angry because you hold it in until you explode. And he's like, if you would just tell people off when they're first doing something, then you wouldn't have to explode like you finally do. And when you finally explode, if you're an introvert, it's never on the person that deserves it. Like, it's never on the person that started the anger building up in you. You usually will explode on the guy in Starbucks who like coughed behind you or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm like not using a real life example, but you never usually take it out on the person that's angered you if you're introverted. You usually ended up taking it out on innocent bystanders or something. They're like, what did I do? And the innocent bystander did absolutely nothing. It's just that part of the introvert personality. You usually don't feel like you can yell as soon as you feel attacked. You have to feel almost boxed in and threatened and put in a corner, and that's the only time an introvert will get angry and yell. And Hades ain't having none of that. Hades is like, when you get angry, you don't have to count to 10, tell people you were angry. And I'm not saying he's like advocating walking around in a perpetual bad mood and verbally sniping people for the least little infraction, but he is saying stop being so nice. Stop being overly nice. Because there's being nice and there's being overly nice. When you're overly nice, and I really tend to do it, people don't take you seriously. They don't. They think they can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. They can take whatever actions, and because you're nice, you're never going to fight back or stand up for your own rights, and then they end up walking all over you. And you can feel it, but you're still not fighting back because you're a nice person. And nice people don't fight back. And he's like, I'm not having any of that crap. So he's good to have around, and you can feel his presence. If people didn't like my house before, they will run screaming in terror now. You can feel his presence, and you can feel him. He's like, this is my territory. And leveraging she don't have a problem with it. He's like, this is mine. If anybody touches what is mine, we're going to have a problem. And I would not want to be the one to start a problem with him. I'm not saying he's not wonderful and loving and kind to work with. He can be, and he can be funny in his own way, but I wouldn't take anything from him either. I mean, I don't know if it's true that the ancient Greeks never worked with him, because apparently Hades Pluto did have like one temple somewhere, and people did have ways of invoking him, of slamming their hand on the ground, and then, like, the animal sacrifice. But at the same time, they feared that if they drew his attention, and I don't know how true this is, this could be like made up over the centuries, that he would abduct them, so to speak, into the underworld, that he was so desperate and greedy, being the lord of the underworld, not death. That's Thanatos. That's someone else entirely. He's not death. The lord of the underworld, he would take more people in, and actually he doesn't care. He's going to get, depending on your worldview of where you're going to end up, he's going to get everybody anyway, so peace and no hurry to grab people. So there you go. But yes, Hades is making himself very comfortable and very pleased, and I am very grateful to have the new roof and to have the side roof as well. I mean, they like build up the roof on a slant. I sent, like, probably not the world's best picture, but I sent a picture to my uncle to show him the main roof, and I'm like, I'm so happy. Now, I apologized to him. I said, I do need the house painted. I said, that's just aesthetic since it's vinyl. But I said the house is not going to look like, Better Homes and Gardens, but it looks a lot better with the new roof that I desperately needed, because they got all that bad wood out of there. And they replaced the one gutter, and then they did the other side, and they didn't replace it. And that's what showed me they were honest. If they didn't have to replace something just for aesthetics and make it pretty, they didn't do it. They didn't waste my money. They weren't like, oh, you need new gutters because the old ones look ugly. They were like, no, as long as the old stuff was okay, they left it. And they didn't want work that I was trying to give them, like replace all the roofs, so I trust them. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. I was kind of wanted to wait until I was sure Hades was here before I made the video, and until I was sure it wasn't Loki pulling my chain. But Hades has a very distinctive energy to him. It's more, if you work with Lysanta, the energy is kind of like, it's forceful, but is protective. It's not like angry and directed at you. It's just this commanding presence, like royalty. And it's, I think that's the word I'm looking for. It's like regal presence. and it's powerful, and you know you instinctively would not want to mess with this energy, but it's not like towards you in a menacing way or anything. That's just how Hades is. As long as he's treated with love and respect, you'll be fine. He would not be the god to torment and tease and bring up with a Ouija board for a giggle or something. But he does have a sense of humor. I mean, he couldn't have cared less about what they thought of him in Hercules. And today I was listening to a creepypasta, and there was something called the Hades virus in it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, Hades wants me to make the video. So yeah, I hope you guys have liked this, and I'm going to finish up. I am just so tired today because I had an event for the other channel today, and I'm just... So, I will see you guys later. Have a great weekend if I don't see you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.